I finally got to watch the Black Panther. It is a great movie. If you have not seen it, you need to watch that movie. So in light of growth being intentional and learning being very intentional, I went to that movie and I said, I'm not going to waste 2 hours of my life without learning something. Because that's 2 hours gone which you can recover. So I decided I need to learn something from this movie, and it has to be positive, right? So I picked up certain lessons, and I just want to share some of those with you real quick. Lesson number 1, which was the most profound, is just because it works well doesn't mean it can't be improved. Many people fall under this trap of thinking just because it works well doesn't mean it can be improved. Just because I'm living a comfortable life doesn't mean I can do better. Just because I'm doing better than others doesn't mean I can do my best, right? I can improve. You need to live a life where you're constantly improving. Systems, look at your systems, and just because they work doesn't mean you can't make things better. There's always room for improvement in whatever that you do. So just because it works well doesn't mean it can be improved. Long time ago, our parents used to send mails, and for them it used to work well. But then there was someone that came and says, look, just because this works well doesn't mean it can be improved. And today we have emails. And those people are the people that are leading change in the world. Those are people that will never forget. It is impossible for us to forget the person that created emails or, WhatsApp, your Facebook. Global leaders are people that are never comfortable with the status quo. Don't settle for less. It can always be improved. Your life, where you are right now, what you're doing right now, it can always be done better. Constantly ask yourself this question: how can I improve this? How can I do better? That way you will live a life that constantly perpetuates excellence, right? That's the only way that you can achieve that. Lesson number 2 is that if you're going to be successful in life, you need to surround yourself with many right advisors, right? It is very biblical. The Bible says in Proverbs 11 verse 14 that, there is safety in having many advisors. That's the Bible, Proverbs 11 verse 14. And I picked that up from the lesson, from the movie rather, when they were sitting and, the king was getting advice and he gave chance for everyone to speak. I picked that lesson up. It's a very important lesson. Make sure that you have advisors. Make sure that you have people that give you great counsel, right? It's very important. The second lesson is never lose your identity. Know who you are. Know what you have. Be self-defined. You must define yourself. Don't lose your identity regardless of where you go, regardless of who you bring in your life. You begin to compromise your life and compromise your identity. Know who you are and stay true to yourself. That was a very profound lesson. Then the other lesson is a very cheeky one. The top gets lonely. Make sure somebody loves you. It's in a song that I love, and I picked it up in the movie. This path that we take of leadership and, of being successful, success can sometimes be very lonely. Never neglect human interaction for money. Don't think having money is more important than having relationships. It is important. Every person that you meet is a very important person to you. Make sure that you constantly perpetuate, relationships and lessons, because the top can get very lonely. The last lesson. It is a man's duty for him to help the woman fulfill her purpose and her calling. Men, this is for you. Don't be selfish. Don't be focused on your own thing, but then, kind of help her achieve what she wants to achieve. Help her achieve her vision. Christ came for us, not for him. He came for us, right? So those are some of the lessons that I learned, guys. If you haven't seen this movie, go see it. Please like, share, and let's get chatting about Black Panther. I'm out.